All right, you guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday motivation move Monday. I don't know what these Zooms are going to be called. We're doing Zooms for our team every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. I feel like I just freaking ran a marathon because I'm so hyped up. I'm so excited. I'm just in such a good place. And there's so many different things of like things that God's telling me to tell you guys. And I'm just like, we're going to try to do all the things. Okay. Because I don't know. I don't know where God's going to take this Zoom. I don't know. But there's someone that needs to hear something that I'm saying today. Okay. And so, one of the things that I am working on in just like all aspects of my life is forcing myself to do the things that I don't necessarily want to do. Okay. Like the things that I'm like, I could, but I also like could just not. I don't know. Right. And so I figured out that when you cut corners, the only person you're hurting is yourself. And so, long story short, we are at the gym today. We go to the gym multiple times a week, and I always lift weights because I like lifting weights because it makes me feel strong. It makes me feel good, right? But I freaking hate cardio. Can I get an amen? Like, I hate cardio to its core. It is like the worst thing in the world because I go from feeling super strong in the gym to feeling like I'm going to die and like no one is there to save me, right? And so, I was I was walking on the treadmill today, and Matthew was like, okay, babe, walk at, because I was like, I don't want to just walk because like that doesn't really feel like a workout. And he was like, okay, walk at 10 incline. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Because like in my head, like I can do anything, right? And so I was on the treadmill and I was walking, and I told myself from the get-go before I even started. So I had never walked on 10 incline before. So I didn't know what I was coming into, right? And before I started, I was like, cool, I'm gonna hit a mile. We're gonna hit a mile. It's fine. I got humbled real quick, real flipping quick. I got humbled. I got to like quarter mile, and I thought I was gonna die. Literally, like I was huffing and puffing. And Matthew also said he was like, "Well, for the 10 incline to be worth it, like you can't hold on to the handles." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I was struggling. Okay, I had a cup of water, and it was to the point that like I would take a sip of water, and I like milked putting the water cup back into the little cup holder, and I would like pull it to like keep my body on the treadmill, and I thought I was going to die. Okay. And every single time I was just staring at the thing, and I was like, okay, we just got to get to 0.21. We just got to get to 0.22. We just got to get to 0.23. And you guys, I did not think I was going to make it. And I got to 1.02. I got over the mile. Did I want to? No. Did I think I could? Honestly, not. Like I was looking around, I was like, if I pass out, is someone gonna know? Like I literally thought I was gonna die. Not die, but like I thought I was gonna pass out because I was struggling. But I was like, you know what? This is a mind over matter thing. This is a time where my head and my heart are gonna try to take me out, even though I probably could do it. Right. And so that happens a lot of times in the business. And I was like, no, I can get to a freaking mile. Like if I can press, like leg press what I leg press, if I can lift the weights that I lift, like why can't I walk a mile? Like I was like, you're being stupid. And so I got to a mile, you guys, and then I lowered the incline because again, but then I walked another mile. Okay. And I wanted to say that not to be like, oh, good job, Courtney. You walked 2 miles at the gym today. But a lot of times we look at our goal, right? Like we set the goal in the beginning of the month and we're like, all right, I'm gonna go bronze, I'm gonna go silver, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this and that. And then somewhere along the way, we look at the goal and we're like, there's no way. There's no way. Put a one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. We're like in the beginning of the month, you're ready to go. But then somewhere along the way, you lose that like belief, right? Like you start questioning yourself and you're like, do I even know how to sign a customer anymore? Like, I don't even know. I'm going to call out Mariah because she told me this and I thought it was the funniest thing ever, right? Like Mariah, like beast mode Mariah, who can do anything in the world, right? She was in a bad place sometimes. And I want you guys to know that that happens between her, between me, everybody you look up to in the business it has been in a bad space, right? And she goes, what if I never sign a customer ever again? I don't know how to sign a customer. And I was like, you are Mariah freaking Newsom. You'll probably sign two customers on the next day. And she did. And she's fine, right? But like, we all get in spots where our head tries to tell us that like we can't do anything anymore. And what I want you to know is what that is, that's not an actual thought that like you might not be able to do it. What the thought is for is your brain does not want you to fail, right? And so whether you're going to fail or not, your brain doesn't know. But especially if you're doing something you've never done before, your brain would rather have you quit before you're even close versus have you give it your all and then fail, because it hurts less if you quit than if you get there and fail. right? And so your brain is constantly trying to get you into a space that is the most comfortable option out of all the options. Okay. And what I want you to know is that it might hurt less right now to quit and say, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe next month, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe whatever, right? It might hurt a little less now to just take yourself out of the game, but it's going to hurt more over time. Because if you keep taking yourself out of the game and talking yourself out of things and telling yourself that you can't do it or that it's too hard or that whatever, you're never going to get there. And the cost of that is a lot. Okay. And not only is that your dreams that are attached to that, but there's so many people, right? Like all of you guys are here because you saw Mariah or I, or you saw somebody who saw Mariah or I, right? Like you were all here because we kept going. And so I want you to realize that on the other side of this hard moment, whether you're in a hard moment or you're not in your business, on the other side of a hard moment is someone who needed to see your strength and needed to see you keep going to understand that one day maybe they could possibly believe in themselves. Right? Because a lot of times there are people, and I promise you, there are people watching you right now that are wondering if you're going to stick with it, that are wondering if it's worth it, that are wondering if this is a real thing. Right? And so you have to get to the other side because there are people that need to be saved because of you. Do you understand that? Someone told me that they said, Courtney, someone's livelihood is attached to your work ethic and someone's dreams are attached to your dreams. And I was like, dang, because I will quit on myself a lot quicker than I'm going to quit on someone else. Right? Because if I'm going to the gym myself, no one's going to know if I don't go. But if I'm supposed to go to the gym with Mariah and Amber, I'm going to show up. Even if I think I'm going to die, I'm going to show up because I'm not quitting on them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I want you to understand that and work that way. I want you to know that right now, this season that we're in right now, we are on the cusp of boom season. Okay. We are on the cusp of things getting crazy. We are announcing we're launching Kids Happy Juice next month, which by the way, did any of you guys order it? Carter drinks it every day and he loves it. And I've noticed such a difference. He's starting to eat. Okay. Short, really quick little thing about Kids Happy Juice, you guys. There's so much in gut health for kids. Okay. He is playing with Ethan versus tackling him. He is going up and hugging Ethan, saying, can I help get Ethan awake from his nap? He is eating chicken nuggets, which to some of you toddler parents, that might be like every day. Carter, before Kids Happy Juice, had not eaten meat in 3 or 4 months. Legitimately, he will not eat meat. And so these little things, you guys, I want you to understand what we have our hands on with Kids Happy Juice. This is going to take the world by storm, and either you're going to get to a whole nother level from it or you're going to get left behind. And I need you to realize that. So like, get your head in the game now. Yes? Cool. I know this is a lot. I know I'm just preaching at you, but I got a lot of things now. We're going to go all places. Okay. This is separation season. Okay. What is happening right now is going to make a difference between where your life looks like come November and December. Some of you are going to take this separation season where we're in right now, and you're going to run and you're going to do the things. And come November and December, you're going to bring in 4 or 5 figures a month, every single month for the rest of your life. And some of you are going to be in the exact same position you're in right now because you did not jump in. Okay. And so I was reading a book right now that Mariah told me to read called The Mountain Is You. And it was either that or it was a Ed Mylott podcast. It was one of the two. And it said, a lot of times the problem does not lie in the fact that you do not know what to do or how to do it. The problem lies in the fact that you do not believe that thing is worth doing. Okay. So most of you, and if you want to put it in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you're like, I truly don't know what I'm supposed to be doing every day or how to do the things. And if you don't know, maybe we need to do like a 4-day intensive of all the different things we do, and we can do that. That's number 1. Number 2 is I know what to do and how to do it, but I'm not making myself do it because I don't think it's really going to pay off for me. Do you understand the difference? Like number 1, like Rachel just started. She's like, Court, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. And that's fine. And that's okay. It's okay to not know what you're doing. What's a harder thing, that's a mental thing, is knowing what to do and knowing how to do it, but not doing it. I cannot physically come to each one of your houses and be like, here's your phone, put this post up. Okay, I can't do that. I can't. I wish I could. You guys probably wouldn't like me because I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you on TikTok for 2 hours? Get it together. Right? And so I can teach you, I can train you, I can walk with you hand in hand and say, hey, here's how I'm posting, here's how I'm messaging, here's how I'm doing reels. I can do that. And I love doing that. What I cannot do is make you believe it's worth it. I can show you what it's done for me. I can show you what it's done for other people on our team. But if you don't believe it yourself, you're never going to do it. Okay. And that's something that you have to work on. If you do not believe this business is going to work for you, if you hear me saying, oh, you can be making 4 and 5 figures a month, and your first thought, whether you want to put it in the chat or not, if your first thought was, oh, I'm not doing that. That's not for me. That I can't do that. If that was your first thought, this is your problem. Do you understand? It has to come up here. Okay. Think of it like if you were trying to drive somewhere, right? You were going on a road trip and you had someone booked you a mystery hotel, right? Like a mystery trip. And they're like, okay, go on your vacation. And you're like, okay, where am I going? And they're like, you got to figure it out. Just go. And you're like, well, I don't know where I'm going. And they're like, well, just go. And you're like, I don't know where I'm going. I can go so many different places, right? If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to go and you're never going to get there because you're not going to be like, I'm not going to drive in the car and drive in circles, not knowing where I'm supposed to go. Does that make sense? So you have to see that in your head first. So many people ask me, Courtney, how are you so consistent even on days you don't want to be or on days that life is busy or this and that is happening? I'm like, because I know where I'm going. I know that I'm going to have a gorgeous lakefront house. I know that I'm going to be able to buy a house with an ensuite, like in-law suite, so that my parents can move here if they want to. I know that I'm going to make enough money that I can pay for my brother and his wife to have whatever procedures they need done so that they can conceive a baby because they can't do it naturally. I know that I'm going to be able to pay for that one day. I know that I'm going to look at Carter and Ethan and say, hey, mom's got your college and mom's got a down payment for your house and mom's got your wedding. I know that's coming. And I know that there's gonna be people on our team that look at me and say, Courtney, because you didn't give up, I didn't give up. And now we bought our first house, or now I paid off all my debt, or now I don't have student loans anymore, or now we're not facing homelessness, or now we're not losing our cars. And now, do you know what I'm saying? I know where I'm going. And so the days that feel hard, I'm not thinking about that, oh, it feels hard right now. I'm thinking about what me saying no today, what that means for the future. And so if you don't know where you're going and you don't know what the future holds for you here, you need to figure that out first. And if you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in this business, you need to borrow my belief. Okay. Number one, I have been in this industry for almost a decade. I have never, ever, 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 ever in my life seen a compensation plan like this, backed with products like this, backed by a corporate office with business people like this. The foundation that we have here at Amare is insane. We are a newer company. What that means, okay, is that 10, 20, 30 years from now, when people look at Amare and they're like, man, those people that got in early are making bank, that can either be you or you can be 20, 30 years down the road being like, man, I should have stuck it out. Okay, you want to know how I know that? Because my mom was one of the first 50 consultants at a company called LeBri, which is not big everywhere, but in the Midwest it is, right? Every single person that she worked with when she started that did not leave is making 20,000+ a month. And that's not a big company, but it's the longevity. Okay. And so you have to understand that. But number two, you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe that you can do the things and you have to believe that you're worth it. But you're never going to believe in yourself or believe that you can do things unless you start like forcing your brain to be like, hey, look at me. I did it. Hey, look at me. I posted today. Hey, look at me. I sent out some referral post messages. Hey, look, I posted a reel even though I thought I couldn't do it. Hey, look, I showed up even though I didn't want to. And by forcing yourself and breaking all those limiting beliefs in your head that are going back and forth, telling you all the things that you don't do and all the reasons you're not good enough and all the reasons that you'll never make money, you have to start breaking those chains in your head. You have to. I talk to Jade every single day. You want to know why? Because there's a lot of chains in my head from my previous company. I got issues up here. Okay. I'm just being honest. And a lot of us do. A lot of us have some issues up here, whether that's from a previous company or a previous marriage or whatever. It doesn't matter. We all have these limiting beliefs in your head. You want to know one thing that was told to me over and over and over again as a kid that I'm constantly breaking is that I was always told as a kid, everything comes easy to you, but the second it starts to make sense, you quit and you stop pushing for it. And I saw that manifest in so many different jobs. So many different jobs over my life, and it happened with my previous company, okay? Um, I got to a point that I was like, okay, I'm like successful enough. And I backed away and I stopped believing in myself and I stopped believing I could do more because at the point I did enough, right? Like I was like successful enough. But I'm not doing that anymore because that's a limiting belief that someone put on me that I didn't put on myself. And so I need you to start realizing the things that go on in your head. What are you telling yourself? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not consistent enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. I'm not, right? We all have the things going on up here. And you have to figure out how to break that thought pattern or you're never going to get where you want to go. I've talked to a couple of you about going gold by the end of the year. What would that look like for you if you were making consistently $2,000 a month every single month for the rest of your life? What would that look like? Have you actually gotten to a spot that you're believing that in your head? Have you ever actually gotten there yet where you're like, man, what would that actually look like? Versus like, oh, that would be so nice. No, what would it actually look like? Would you be able to quit one of your second jobs? Would you be able to buy like what I remember the first good paycheck I had at my previous company, I went to the grocery store and it was the coolest feeling. I get like choked up thinking about it is we had struggled for so long, right? And so like we had lived so small. And I remember going to the grocery store and I bought a bottle of whipped cream. And it was the coolest thing because it wasn't something that I needed, but I freaking love whipped cream. I don't know why. I just think it like is the best tasting thing in the world. And I never let myself buy it because I was like, that's $3 I don't need. That's a gallon of milk. I don't need whipped cream. And I remember that day that I bought whipped cream and I walked out of the store and I saw Starbucks and they had this little cake pop. And I bought a cake pop and I was like, dang, I spent $5 on something that was completely not needed. And I don't that's not a big thing. A lot of times we look for this big thing in the business, right? Like, oh, I bought a car and I bought a house and I quit my job and I paid off all my debt, right? But like so many people are struggling so bad that they just want like a little bit. A little bit. And I remember I posted and I was like, this might not seem like a lot to you guys, but it's everything to me. And I remember I had like 4 or 5 people message me that day and they're like, that's so cool. Because so many people are living that way that the thought of spending $3 on whipped cream and an extra $4 on a freaking cake pop is like, it's just, we're not, it's just, that's not needed. Is it needed? No. But those little things can give you hope, okay? And I want you to understand that is that you don't need this big thing. But what can you first start believing about this business? Can you believe that it can give you a tank of gas? Because a tank of gas a month is a lot of money. That's a big thing for people. I remember putting like, okay, I had $2.76 in my account. I was going to put $2 in because I didn't want it to go to zero, but like I needed some gas, right? And so I want you to think of that, okay? We get paid so well here, you guys. One customer is $10. And you might think, oh, a customer or two is not much. Okay. Well, if you saw a post, if you were struggling so bad and you saw a post of someone that you knew saying, hey, my online business just covered an entire tank of gas, wouldn't you be like, what? Something online covered an entire tank of gas? There's so much money here, and I want you to know that your story doesn't need to be big to impact people. And you have to start small. So what is the first thing you're going to do? Okay, you know what? I'm going to pay for a tank of gas. And then maybe I'm going to cover my car insurance. Okay, now I'm going to cover my car payment. Okay, now I'm going to cover my car payment and my rent. Okay, now I'm going to cover all my bills. Okay, now I'm going to cover all my bills. and then put some in savings. Okay, I'm going to cover all my bills and put some in savings and then pay off debt. Okay, now I'm debt free, so now I'm going to pay off all my bills and I'm going to bring my husband home. Do you understand what I'm saying? It starts small. And I want you to understand that. And so you guys need to start forcing yourself and breathing that belief into your head. Because sometimes we make our goals too big that we're like, if we're not doing this, we're doing nothing. And that's not how it is. It's not all or nothing. There are steps to get there. And you can have it all and you will have it all, but you have to get there. Does that make sense? And so you have to start showing yourself the wins, right? And so Rebecca just put in the chat, and I was literally just going to say that, is you eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? And what that looks like, I remember in my last business, someone who I looked up to in the business, she called me and she said, Courtney, I just need you. I'm not doing well. And I haven't been doing well. And I haven't been doing the work and I haven't been doing anything. And I'm just so mad at myself and I'm just so disappointed. I'm not where I want to be and I don't know what to do. And I don't know how to start again. Right? Because she was already here, but she didn't know how to start again. And I said, you know what? She said, well, just send me your task list and I'll just do that. And I said, no. And she's like, what do you mean no? And I said, no. I'm not going to send you my task list of what I do as I've been consistent for months and years. Because you're not going to do it. And that's just reinforcing to yourself that you suck and that you're losing and you're not doing this and it's disappointing, right? You're just reinforcing that bad thought process. And I said, so what I want you to do tomorrow, I said, I want you to post, I want you to send some friend requests and I want you to send 10 messages. And then the next day, double it. And then the next day, add in a reel to it, right? And so you have to start giving yourself little wins. Have you not posted in a week? Okay, make your goal tomorrow to post and send some friend requests. Okay? Have you not sent referral post messages? Make your goal to send some referral post messages. I don't care if it's 5. You have to start somewhere. You have to start little wins where you're like, oh, I actually did it. Cool. Right? Because when you're actually doing the things, it's fun and it's exciting. Okay? And so I want you to know that is that start wherever you are. And don't try to go from chapter 1 to chapter 10 because it's not going to make sense and you're just going to quit. You're going to be like, I don't get it. Start where you are. And everyone's starting point right now today is different. And that's okay. But you can all get to the same place and beyond, but you have to start here. Okay? Start here. And so the thing that I want to leave you with is that a lot of you, I've talked to a couple of you, and you're talking to me, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but you're talking to me as if the month is over, right? You're talking to me as if like, it's done is done. This is September. I'm just looking at October. And I want you to know that the month is not over. The month is not over. It's not. It is the 23rd. We have a whole nother week. A whole nother week. What could you do in a week? A lot. What could you do in a week if you have one person working on your team? If each of you brought in one a day for the rest of the month, that's another 1,400 in volume. If you have 2 people working on your team and each of you brought in one a day for the rest of the week or the rest of the month, that's another 2,100 in volume. And you're probably bronze at that point. But you guys are taking yourself out of the game way too early. Okay? There's a week left of the month. I don't care if you have not posted, messaged, anything at all yet this month. I don't care if you just started today. You could do bare minimum. You can do your focus on 5 by the end of the month. 5 enrollments, $500. Okay? So the top 3 things I'm focusing on. You want to know the number one thing that I tell people if you're in a rut, you want to know how to get out of it, how to get better, how to feel better? Action. You want to know how to stop doubting yourself? Action. You want to know how to stop doubting that this business is going to pay you what you need it to pay you? Action. It all comes from action. Okay? You want to know where doubt comes in? Inaction. When you're still, when you're doing nothing, when you're not messaging, when you're not posting, when you're not doing reels because you're not having anything happen and you're like, it's all going to fall apart. Okay? Action. So the top 3 things that I'm doing right now. Number 1, follow-ups. A lot of them. Okay? If you came from a previous company, doing all the follow-ups for my potential customers at the previous company. I will put a message in the team chat after this that Mariah used with a picture of her results. If you do not have physical results, use Mariah's. If you have physical results of yourself, use yours. Yes? Number 2, I am messaging people to be a brand partner with me. Okay. I should be having 2 people sign with me on Friday from these messages. I will put the message in the chat. Number 3, from Rebecca, I think she's still on. Yeah, there you are. Is transformation pack referral posts or host a posts. Okay. I was resistant to this for so long because I was like, I don't want to do weight loss. I don't want to. Okay. Listen, that's fine. You don't have to. But at the end of the month, I'm doing transformation pack at least. I'll probably do it all month because it gets people in. And guess what? It's a very easy. So you're selling the transformation pack, which is the edge and the fit. Weight loss is a hot topic right now. It is what it is. Okay. You're going to get people watching your page at least from weight loss. And then they're going to see you post about Happy Juice and how it's your business and how it's changed your life, right? And so those are the 3 things I'm doing: transformation pack, referral posting, messaging for brand partners, and doing all my follow-ups. Okay. And the last thing I want you to do, and I want you to get comfortable with, is sharing your story on your Facebook and on your Instagram or on your TikTok, whatever platform feels right for you, whatever platform feels best, stay there. Stay there. Okay. You can dabble in other things, but I was talking to Jade about it, and she's like, you're best in Facebook. Guess what? 80% of your time is going to be on Facebook then, because that's where you work best. That's what makes the most sense to me. That's what feels the best. So that's where 80% of my time is going to go. But I need you to get better at sharing your story. Okay. I will show you guys an example of what I'm talking about. Okay. It is so easy. And I'm not saying there's not time for it, but it's so easy to post somebody else's before and after pictures and be like, oh my God, Happy Juice is that girl. Don't get me wrong. I still post that. Okay. Transformation pack is the edge, and the GBX fit is what the happy transformation pack is. And then you can upsell to add in the Mentabiotics and other stuff. There's whole scripts, you guys, in our team board. There's a transformation pack folder with the entire wording, scripts for pricing, all the things are in there. Okay. So posting, there are times where you just post a before and after picture and you're like, oh my God, Happy Juice is that girl. Okay, I still do it. I just did it a couple days ago. But then there's a post like this. Okay, this is a picture of me and Carter. We were making cookies yesterday. And this is what the post said. It said, this may look like nothing to you, but it's everything to me. If you asked any of my friends or family if I'd be letting Carter help me make cookies, the answer would have been the hardest, fastest no ever. I was not the mom I wanted to be. I was constantly overwhelmed, overstimulated, stressed out, and living life in overdrive. I would not have taken the extra 10 minutes that it took to let Carter help me, even though we were making the cookies for his classroom. I felt like I was fast forwarding through life and through my kids' childhood, but I didn't know how to stop it. And then Happy Juice came into my life and everything changed. It helped me slow down. It helped me relax. It helped me enjoy being a mama. It helped me play with my kids without constantly trying to find a reason to leave the room. It helped me find joy in life again. It saved me. Mama, if you're struggling, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that you don't have to just get through it like my doctor told me. There's no shame in struggling. You're not a bad mom. You're just stuck in fight or flight mode. Do you guys see the difference? That stirs up some feelings. That stirs up some like, okay, me too. Been there. Because what you've dealt with in life is what you're most equipped to help. And so I want other moms to know that there's nothing wrong with them if you don't love your kids 24/7. Like you don't want to hang out with them all the time, right? But a lot of moms don't know that it's okay, like that they're not the only ones, and there's like a shame struggle, like a shame cloud of like, oh, you don't like your kids 24/7 and you're not gentle parenting 24/7 and blah 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 blah, right? And so when I posted that, I had 3 moms message me and they're like, hey, what is that? Because I'm going through all the things you said. Now, those conversations are probably going to take a little bit longer, but guess what? Those customers are going to stay forever. Does that make sense? Share your story. And one last thing, you guys, is when you're sharing your story, I said this to someone earlier today. She said, I feel like sharing my story is redundant. And I said, it's not redundant, it's consistent. Because nobody on your Facebook sees every single post you make. And so you might be sharing your story every day, but you're going to share different chapters of it. So today I talked about being overwhelmed as a mom. Tomorrow I might talk about my happiness. The day after I might talk about my energy. The day after I might talk about my sex drive. The day after I might talk about my weight loss, right? It's all different parts about my emotions and how I feel from Happy Juice, but they're all different. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I want to leave you with, you guys, is I want you, every single one of you, you have homework, okay? Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording, I want you to go in our team chat and be like, I just got done with the Zoom. Here's my aha moment, and here's what I'm doing by the end of the month. We need to get excited again. We need to get fired up. We need to get running. We need to get doing the things and believing in ourselves again. And I don't care if you are brand new or you haven't done a dang thing. Your goal by the end of the month is to do your focus on 5 for $500. Okay. Every single one can do it. Yes. I love you guys so much. And I'm so proud of everything you guys are doing. And I am working tirelessly every single day to try to level up my leadership for you. So if there's ever anything that you guys are like, man, I wish Courtney would do this, or I wish we had something like this, or I wish we had a resource like this, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. I want to be the leader that you guys are like, yeah, I'm proud to be on Courtney's team because she does all the things to help us. Okay. So I love you guys so much. Let's fire it up. Let's do the things. Let's get it going because there's so much time left. There's a whole week left of this month. It's going to be incredible. And we're going to do big, big things. Okay. I love you guys so much. I'll put this on YouTube tonight. Bye, guys.